on with VW Sportsman. Well done to Kev Slyfield's team. Outstanding stuff. What a show. Absolutely brilliant. Simon Clare, Polly Judge. Simon's going to be there first with a 14.47. Quite a way off, actually. Polly breaks out by 0.04 of a second. Yeah, anyway, just to repeat again, Transit Mania this evening. 9 o'clock over there, behind the main spectator banking up the top end. Fancy going and joining them. You are everyone is very, very welcome. So, Daniel Boucher and Steve Stone. Steve is #1 qualifier. We had run the perfect TT earlier on today. Also pretty good on the lights as well. That was an 01. $13.88 for Daniel Boucher, breaks out. Steve Stone stays #1. Pretty consistent on that number, actually. So we're just cracking on through the last of this third cycle of qualifying. Rob Queswell looking 13.70 goes, 13.80. 15.15, 81 for John Crawford. Rob Queswell actually moves up to the #3 spot with that one. Just to answer a quick question, yeah, Pro Mod were due to have Q4 tomorrow. That was if it was a 4-car field, but because Annie got a licence, they've had 3 qualifying runs today. It's going to be run as an 8-car field, so they will have 3 rounds of racing tomorrow, hence the fact that was the last qualifying session. Larry Ainslow, good luck this time, Larry. 15.20 in Lady Baja 2. That's a lot more like it. And Steve Metcalf, 14.75. Pretty good races it goes. 15.34, 15.59. Big help for both, actually. Larry goes up to #8. And an improvement as well in the other lane. Gareth Bates, Paul Robinson. So Paul Robinson's going to get there first with a 14.56, goes up to #10. Gareth Bates moves up 1 spot with a 15.87 on a 65. Lawrence Clark with the Thunderbug, Kestrel Beer side of the racetrack, 13.30 against the other Miss Wilson. Morgan out there with Havoc. Morgan at the moment is #7. Lawrence Clark is #9. 13.80 for Lawrence. Let's see what Morgan can do this time. 17.70. Your new #1 qualifier, and I don't think that's going to be beat as well. That is what you call a dad dance dunk. Well done. That's very, very good. Congratulations. Finally, I think is the phrase. Bruce Harvey, Jack Gooding. Jack with Nemesis. Bruce, unfortunately, bogs off the start line. And in case you're confused and you're tuning in, that's a man called Bruce, not the car called Bruce. He refires okay. Jack Gooding goes 16.78, round about half a second off of his dial-in. Ethan Lyle with possibly the most optimistic dial-in we've ever seen. 14.90 for the Lupo. against Phil Jones with the Audi. Phil Jones, 1480, 1490 for Ethan. I think he ran 17 something a little earlier on. Well, I don't think it's going to be a 14-second run for Ethan unless Phil's going extremely quick. Phil goes 14.91, 16.23 though for Ethan Lyle. That's much, much more like it. His quickest run by a long way. VW Pro last qualifying session. Tom Herbert taking on James Gould. James Gould number 3 at the moment. Tom Herbert 8. So 11.20 for James Gould goes, 11.77, 12.25 for Tom Herbert though, actually moves him up to the number 3 spots. Graham Fairhead with the Type 3 called Misfit in the Kestrel Lane, 11.20. James Hodson, much, much more like it on that last run. This time dials a 10.75. This is the time it runs properly and it runs a 10.1. 11.24 for Graham Fairhead. That's really going to help. Actually, Graham Fairhead's number 1. James Hodson stays at 13 with a 13-second run. 10.40 is his dial-in. As you can see, it's very, very front-wheel drive for both of these two. Big tyres at the front, little tyres at the back. Adrian Sully, Late Goose. 2 pretty good-looking runs. Carl's looking for 10.40. 11.20 for Adrian Sully. Carl's out front. Carl goes 10.79 and 11.30. Sully actually moves up. The Late Goose moves up to number 4. Carl actually moves up 1 spot to number 9. Okay, James Rhodes from Southampton with the Lupo. A car you'd not look at straight away and think, I know what I'm going to do with that. Turn it into a race car. Against Dave Crowhurst from Cranbrook. Broke out by a bunch before. He's getting quicker and quicker and quicker, and he's now down into the 9.6s. 9.69 is his predicted time on the board at the top end. Well, Dave Crowhurst is predictably long gone, although the Lupo's not far behind. Dave Crowhurst goes even quicker, 9.64, 141. James Rhodes, though, your new number 1 qualifier, 10.52 on a 50. That will be the number 1 spot. John Brewster with the Beetle. 12.65 for him, and Ian Dale with the strip burner. Uh, 10 and 15 for these two. .57 breakout. And Ian Dale moves up 1 spot with a 12.58 on a 12.20. So Abby Tether with the Golf. 12.88 against the indecently quick Audi S4 of Rob Carter. Around about a second quicker, would you believe, for the estate. So Rob Carter goes through with 11.98. That improves him, actually moves him up to number 5. 12.93 for Abby Tether. Makes a number 3. Okay, last car for VW Pro. Luke sent us a note to say that the cables and the gear selecting, he launched in second unintentionally, managed to put it in neutral when he was going for second, and then the motor revved hard, tried to put it in gear again, and dropped it into first, which is what was the cause of all the issues on the car. So this is Luke's second run in the car, looking for 12.99 after a number of years rebuilding. Let's hope everything goes all right this time round for Luke. Well, Luke cruises through, actually breaks out by half a second. 12.56, 112 miles an hour. I think all the work was worth it. Even pulls a chute through the finish line as well.